Have you ever felt like you actually have a soulmate? Do you know why your body senses someone else as a soulmate? Stick around, I'll show you exactly what's happening in your brain to make this happen. There are many different facets to this particular thing. There's a spiritual facet that I do not have time to go into. There's also another component that is part of operations that the FBI and the CIA use on people when they do experimentation. I don't have time to go into that in this video either. So what I'm going to focus on today in this short video is what is happening in your brain that makes you feel this immediate sense of connection and this deep level attraction towards somebody that you can't explain. And it all starts with the reticular activating system. To make this really easy to understand, you can take your fingers, you can point them directly into your ears, and the center part of your head in your brain area between your fingers is called the limbic system. This is where your amygdala, the hippocampus, the hypothalamus, and a bunch of other pieces live, and these are the things that contribute to and control your emotions. I've given this example before, but let me explain it like this. Imagine for just a minute that you are obsessed with a specific color and make and model of a car. So you go online and you do all the research. You look at picture after picture of the exterior, of the interior. You look at all the options that are available. You look at every place that there might be one to buy. You talk to your friends about this particular car. And what you're doing is you are training the mammalian part of your brain, specifically the reticular activating system, that subconsciously, this is super important to you. So subconsciously, what happens is your brain will start to look for it everywhere. And this is why if you go down and you buy that vehicle, the next day as you're driving down the road, you're going to start noticing, hey, there's a car exactly like mine. Look, there's another car exactly like mine. And all of a sudden, this vehicle that you've spent all your time researching and looking at is popping up everywhere. Now, did everyone all of a sudden go out that night and buy the vehicle that you bought? Of course not. All that's happening here is that your reticular activating system that you have trained to say that this is important is subconsciously looking for every version of it that it can find. And this is why all of a sudden you see it everywhere, because you have brainwashed yourself to look for it. How does this relate to soulmates? It's because everyone has a specific type of person that they're looking for. There are specific features that certain people look for, color of hair, eye color, and so on. So what ends up happening is you have driven into your own subconscious this person, and it's like an archetype. And there are people that you see, and they look kind of like this person that you have created in your mind. And your reticular activating system begins to scan subconsciously every room that you go into, every time you go to the supermarket, every time you go to the gas station, just like it would have looked for the car that you were interested in. It's now looking specifically for an archetype that you have created in your mind. And when it latches onto one, you get this rush of dopamine. And because you know this is an archetype that you are attracted to, you will more than likely make eye contact. And then what happens is, as the dopamine is flooding your receptors, and that is the pleasure, that is the excitement and pleasure chemical, the next thing that floods out is called norepinephrine, also called noradrenaline, and this goes into concert with the dopamine. And then what happens is the weird part, serotonin, which is what gives you peace and gives you a sense of calmness, drops. Now, normally when you're in a place that you really like, serotonin is really high and it allows you to relax. But in this case, because you're attracted to somebody, the serotonin level drops. And all of a sudden, because the serotonin level drops, you begin to feel butterflies in your stomach. That's part of the vagus nerve. I went into that in another video. But you will also feel this lack of breath. You will feel this hard attraction. And you need and you want and you desire that person. And so your brain is convinced this is the one. This fits the archetype. They're the right height, they have the right hair color, they have the right eye color. Everything is exactly what I've trained myself to look for. And because they are likely feeling and sensing that, they also get that rush of dopamine, which forces them to feel and to sense and to notice that someone has taken notice of them. And all of a sudden, we have a connection.
Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?